Speaking of September 11th, that morning of September 11th, that Tuesday morning, I was supposed to go downtown and get my driver's license. So I'd be getting off at the Fulton station, getting out of the train at really, when I look back at the minutes, it would have been the same minute that the first plane hit. My purpose through God is to be a bridge between Cambodia and the United States.
Wow.
To show the US market Cambodia. And I don't know why. I don't it's just that's just what it is.
Yeah.
When I watched that, I just was because I felt like I was like Punch the Monkey because my mother left me and people can smell it. Like it's a weird thing with children and adults. Like when you don't have that protector, I didn't have that maternal protectiveness.
Hey, everyone. Let's start healing. I'm Adrienne Murchison, and welcome to episode 199 of the Let's Start Healing podcast. We have more in common than we think, and what we have in common can change the world. Well, my guest today is going to share how she is changing the world in her own way, along her own spiritual path. And it is very much a spiritual path because she has been divinely inspired. She's a very, very dear friend of mine. Her name is Carie Scott. And Carie and I go way back to the 90s when we were both working in a restaurant, Morton's of Chicago Steakhouse in New York, right down near Wall Street. And we just hit it off. We just really hit it off. And we have an age gap between us. And we were just drawn to each other. And we would have the best conversations while we're checking coats and seating people, or I guess I should say, as we're being hostesses and taking people to the dining room to be seated at Morton's of Chicago Steakhouse. And we just really, really bonded. One of the things she brought up was my book here. This is a book that I wrote back in the 90s, Colliding on the Road to Happiness. And colliding, not a good decision to spell the word this way, but it is meant to be colliding, like collision colliding. But this word is a take on kaleidoscope. That's me on the back of the book from the 90s. And this is a book that I self-published on relationships between Black men and women. And then I would go and, among other things, sell the book on the streets of New York City, down in the Village. And Carie saw the book on my shelf. It's normally back up here with these other books that are so prominent. And she saw this book and she said, "Oh, I remember that," because she remembers being with me and when I would sell the books on occasion. So we indeed go way back. And she is here today to just share some special gems about her spiritual journey, the highs and the lows, and trying to figure things out, and how she has come alive through work that she is doing in Cambodia. And she has started a brand in Cambodia that she will talk about, and how she is working to build a bridge between Cambodia and the US, and in a special way, in a particular way. And I want to share a little bit about her background so I can do her justice. Her brand is called House of Khmer, which is a language across Cambodia. And it is also a group of people in Cambodia. And so Khmer artisans are creating goods for the home that she is going to be selling. And she's starting with candles and she's going to go all into that. But what I love about it, and I want to share with you now, is how the candles each have a different intention. She says that inspired by Khmer tradition of colors each day of the week. The collection of candles is a series of 7, each defined by its own scent, color, and daily intention, such as bravery, equality, honesty, justice, and hope. And there's more. So she will go a little more into that. But let me share a little about Carie, because she is a person who has been very successful in life professionally and has also taken stock of her life at certain points to consider what is most important to her and what is most fulfilling. So, a little about her background. With over 2 decades in New York City's design world, Carie has long been drawn to objects that carry both beauty and meaning, pieces that live quietly but intentionally within a home. She came to Cambodia to volunteer during a period of personal transition, which she will share. And while there, she found herself reconnected to design. She was surrounded by a community, artisans, and she rediscovered a sense of purpose. And that experience led to the rise of House of Khmer, which, as I mentioned, is going to be launched publicly, as she shares, in September. And Carie is one of the people that I just came to. I told her that she is one of my top 5 favorite people in the world, on the planet. And she truly is. She truly is just a genuine spirit. And when you meet people like that, which, to be frank, we probably rarely do in this day and time, but when you meet people like that, you know that it's a blessing for you. And you want to stay connected and acknowledge that blessing and that bond. So I am just looking forward to you getting to know Carie Scott. Let's meet her. Let's get started, and let's start healing. Welcome, Carie.
Hello, Adrienne.
Carie Scott.
Yes.
I'm so excited. And I was thinking about the last time we saw each other in person, and it might have been right after 9/11.
I think it was. I think you came to visit.
Yeah.
And it was right. And I was living in my little apartment in the Lower East Side, and you bought me a clothing iron. I remember.
I
I
did.
didn't have an iron. You're so sweet.
I
You bought
do
me an
remember you
iron.
did not have an iron, but I brought you an iron.
You bought me one.
That is
Yeah.
so
You
great.
went out and bought me one. It was so sweet. I had it for years.
I know. I used to iron every single day, and I couldn't imagine someone not having an iron. You were like, nope, I don't have.
Welcome to my world, Adrienne.
Yeah, my friend that I came with, we are still in touch, and he probably brought up that trip a week ago. Like, he'll bring it up every
Really?
once in a while. Yeah, he'll bring it up.
Oh,
I'm like, yes, I still talk to Carie.
well, we've known each other a very long time. So
We
you're
have.
like one of my oldest friends, really.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
You're one of my
really.
favorite people on the planet, like top 5 for real.
Whoa. Okay, that's a heavy. I don't know if I'm ready for that responsibility, but back at you. So, same
Yeah,
with you. I mean,
it's true.
I was watching one of your podcasts last night with my friend that I'm staying with here, and I saw the book in the back, and I was like, oh man, I remember selling that book.
Yes,
Remember when we were downtown and we put the table
yes.
up?
Oh
Oh
my
my God.
God, yes, yes, down in the village. Oh my
Yes.
God. Yes. Yes, yes. I
So
think
I don't know. It was so special to see it in the background. I was like, oh, I know that book.
that's amazing. Yeah, those were the days. It seems like
Mm-hmm.
another life. It seems like
I
another
know.
life. But I
I
remember
know.
when I moved here, and then I went back, I think, in 2000, and I stayed with you. Did I stay with you a couple days? Because I
Yeah,
stayed
well,
with
it's
people.
2001. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I went twice took
You went twice.
because I
Well,
came in 2001, I drove there with my friend after 9
okay. Right.
and
Because that it maybe it was a I don't know, because I moved to LA, I think it was 99. Like, I
okay,
moved to LA for, like, I don't know, almost 2 years, not quite. I got back July of 2 no, I'm sorry, May of 2001. So,
okay.
but I
So
know you
maybe
stay
I
with me.
went yeah, maybe I went because I did go in the month of June, so maybe I went it was those trips were that close together.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I just, I'm bringing it up because I remember when I came and we went out to get some wine and maybe cut some calamari, and it was just like a neighborhood bar, and it was just so I loved it so much because I had forgotten how I could just get good wine and I could just get good calamari at a
Mhm.
neighborhood bar, and I'm still to this day trying to find, like, really good calamari.
It's hard to find because
Mhm.
when it's bad, it's really bad. And most of the time it's bad.
Most of the time it's bad, but us gluttons, we keep trying.
Hey, we're Tauruses. I mean, we can't help ourselves.
This is so true, so true. So, um, I like to ask how people are vibing with God on, this particular day that we're talking because it can be different sometimes from day to day. Like today, I'm just kind of I don't know. God's like carrying me because I didn't take my allergy pill. So
Oh, yeah, I mean, I feel for me at least, I was thinking today because I was kind of running around and just wanted to make sure I had everything ready to go for this call. And I just find myself like when I'm rushing like that because I have the tendency to like rush and be anxious that I'm going to miss an opportunity and really I think it's about like letting someone down. Like you know what I mean? It's just like that pressure to like but today I was like, just relax. The more you rush, it's not faster. You're going to get it done. And I mean, I feel like in that way, God speaks to me because he's just like, it's just patience,
Mhm.
in God's time. I mean, that rings through my mind all the time when
Yes.
I get that feeling of, what do we say in New York at the Agita,
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's in God's time, like
Mhm.
a train came and so it made me late, but maybe it was a good thing that the train came. And speaking of September 11th, that morning of September 11th, that Tuesday morning, I was supposed to go downtown and get my driver's license.
Really?
Yeah, I had told the woman I worked with that I was going to be late. I just moved back from LA. I was going to get my New York driver's license. And I woke up early, said I was gonna be late because you never know the DMV. I mean, it could, you
Right.
know, and I was gonna go to the one downtown on Wall Street. So I'd be getting off at the Fulton station, getting out of the
Mhm.
train at like really when I back at the minutes, it would have been like the same minute that the first plane hit.
Wow. Mhm.
But instead, I woke up that morning and it was the primary. And I was so excited to vote for the primary, and I had mail that had my address on it so I could vote. And so instead of going downtown like I had scheduled, I walked to the elementary school and I voted. And I didn't realize it until probably like maybe later that evening. I was with my best friend. She lived in Gramercy Park. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I was supposed, like putting the time stamps and everything. I was like,
Right.
like, so, yes. So it's like when things I think of that a lot in my life about,
Yeah.
um, God's timing.
That is amazing. Didn't you major in religion in
I
school?
did. So I made my own major because I just can't nothing can be easy,
Yeah,
Adrian.
I have a response to that in a minute.
Um, but yes, history of religion. So not so much theology, although there's some of that in there because you just pick it up when you're reading the Bible and the
Yeah.
Quran and things like this. But I focused on Judaism, Islam, and um, and Christianity.
Okay.
And so it was more of me, I think, just I love history and
Mhm.
just seeing how all of those religions came about and the
Yeah.
politics behind them.
I know we used to talk about so many different things because I would go to church often, I would just
Mhm.
go to St. Patrick's during the course of the day or something like that and pray, and so do you I don't know if I ever saw myself as religious even when I was practicing Catholic, because
Mhm.
my relationship with God, I always think of spirituality as that for me, but do you think
Mhm.
of yourself as more spiritual or religious, or how do you think of
It's
yourself?
spiritual,
Mhm.
actually. I would say even a friend of mine in Cambodia the other day, she mentioned something that I was religious, and I was like, I said, actually, I'm not. I mean, yes, religion for me, for Catholicism, in my experience, is a way for me to express my spirituality. That's the
Mhm.
way I look at it. But I feel that internally, I feel very connected to the Holy Spirit,
Mhm.
God,
Yeah.
all these things. So maybe I don't I also like mystics and things like that, like understanding from a more mystic point of view. You know, I feel like I can only speak for the Catholic Church because, but it's just like there's many types of Catholics, but the beauty of it is they're all kind of under one roof, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
does give you the like I don't feel like another friend in Cambodia, she calls me the rock and roll Catholic. So no, so
Why did
I
she
does
call you
does
that?
that
'Cause you're
just
what?
because I don't know, I like to dance and I love music and I'm not, even though I do the rosary, but I'm not like, I it's just a fun way for me to express myself, you
Right,
know?
right, right. Yeah.
So
I have this friend, if you come here, I would love it if you came here and if you 2 were to meet, and you're not similar, but you're both free spirits and,
mhm.
both beautiful, just beautiful, beautiful people, and the other day, she described herself in the way, and you don't have the same lifestyle, but still, I was like, "This reminds me of you." She kind of referred to herself as kind of like a nomadic traveler or person, and I think of you as that in a way, like you just go where you're moved to go.
I know, and when I don't do that, that's when I experience anxiety or depression or,
Mm,
that's I can feel my soul like I won't say dying, but suffering
yeah,
because part of who I am is just I'm curious. I love to I just have this curiosity about me that I just want to, if I get something in my head, I just want to learn everything about that one thing.
yeah.
Maybe they call that like autistic now, but like,
It's very endearing. I relate, and it's not.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, but have you always been that way as long as you can remember, or you realize later in adulthood?
I realize I never really understood it when I was younger that I would get like, okay, so when I was 14, I was obsessed with psychology, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. You know what I mean? Because I thought I was crazy. So I would go to the library when we used to go to the library. We couldn't like chat GPT this stuff, like what's like so I checked out all these books about Carl Jung and Freud and I just went down the rabbit hole of just studying these people and Carl Jung, which is really interesting now, like fast forward, I was like 14, now I'm like 53. Now I'm like back studying him again
Mhm.
because I relate so much with his theories and it's kind of enmeshed with, spirituality and
Yeah,
life paths and things like that. So it's interesting how things come full circle. But to answer your question, yes, I went to see King Ludwig's castle in Germany one time and came back and spent 3 weeks studying King Ludwig
oh my
before
goodness.
work.
Well, wait, how old were you then? And did you go by yourself?
No, I went with friends of mine. I think I was not quite 30. I think maybe I was like 29, you know? But even like my best friend from college, there was at one point I had this Donna Summer live album, like cassette,
Yeah.
and I played it like a lot, like a
Mhm.
lot, a lot, a lot. And at one point, my sweet, lovely best friend was like, please, for the love of God. And we talked about that the last time I saw her in New York. I was like, remember that? I said, dude, like, it's interesting because, like, I could have listened to it for another 2 years.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
get it. Like, I have a playlist. I do now have other songs on it, but I have a playlist of, Besame Mucho, and it's all different versions of,
I
throughout.
can relate.
And I have added other songs, but most of the playlist is that song, just different versions.
Okay, then we're
Yeah,
twin flames here, so
yeah.
I get it.
So why did you think you were going crazy when you were 14?
Well, because I had such a, I say challenging, home life, but I just felt different. Like I didn't understand why everyone, not everyone, but like people in my life, were saying that I was weird or I was different or I thought different or yeah, I did. And so and I also grew up in Oklahoma City, which is a very, everyone wants to be the cheerleader. Not everyone, but you know what I mean? It's just like
Mhm.
there's a lot of that, like
Cookie
that.
cutter kinda thing?
Yeah, like pressure to just kind of be in the mold, to be this person. And I just was never that person. I
Mhm.
mean, my dad even said to me, he was born and raised here in Oklahoma City, and he was like, you're just different than everyone else. And he said it in a really sweet way. He wasn't being mean or
Mhm.
anything. But yeah, I mean, I knew at 12 that I was going to move to New York.
Mm.
Like I manifested that at
I was just gonna say, I don't know if I know what made you move to New York.
I was watching David Letterman every night one summer when I was 12
Yeah.
during this, and I was like, and then I kind of got into like punk music a little bit when I was a
Mhm.
kid, like the fringes of it, like Blondie and all these. I was like, I'm gonna move to New York one day, but when I moved to New York, the punk scene was gone. So I was just 20 years too late.
Oh my
But
gosh. Well, I admire you because, I mean, I knew I was different because people would tell me I was different, and I just kind of, uh, accepted that and walked in, my own shell of weirdness,
yeah,
within my mind, and so it wasn't
sure.
until I was well into adulthood, like, I don't know, 40s, maybe late 30s when I started trying to come into who I am. Probably 40s, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that, I mean, I definitely stuffed that part of myself that into a place that I didn't access for a long time because I was really checking a lot of boxes that in hindsight weren't really my boxes that I even really wanted to check, but maybe I was doing it for other people and things like
Mhm,
that. But so that again, yeah, but since like you said, like you get older and you just embrace those parts of you because gosh, like I don't want to hang out with someone that isn't a little different or weird. And I don't think it's weird, but a personality. I like personalities.
yeah,
I want to hear a story, like I want to hear the person's passion, like what you love.
mhm,
That's the people that I like to talk to, and it's a joke amongst my friends, like, they're always like, "How did you meet this person?" Like, I if you are the weirdest person in the room, I will meet you,
mhm.
and we'll and listen,
Yeah,
sometimes it works out
you
great, and
you
sometimes
draw to each other.
yeah, and other times, because I just have that empath in me where if I
Yeah,
see someone that is maybe not part of the group, like I'm gonna, I can't, I have to, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And sometimes it works great, and there's been a few strange ones in the mix, but that being said, I'm not going to change.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to let some bad apples like make me not be that
Yeah.
person that I like to be.
As we get into, and as I mentioned, I'm going to jump around because I do want to
Sure.
go to what you did in your profession before, but I want to get a
Okay.
little bit into now. What do you think your purpose is? Like, what do you think your purpose through God is?
My purpose through God is to be a bridge between Cambodia and the United States,
Wow.
to show the US market Cambodia. And I don't know why. I don't it's just that's just what it is.
Do you know why you're drawn to Cambodia?
I don't know why. I knew as soon as I got off the plane because I went to Southeast Asia to look at different places to volunteer. And Cambodia, even before I went to Cambodia, even before I left for Southeast Asia, I was talking to a dear friend of mine and I said something about being in Cambodia. She's like, "Well, you don't even know yet." I said, "No, I know. I know I'm going to be in Cambodia." I just knew.
Mm. You
And
went to
so,
Southeast Asia in 24 or
as summer of 2024, yes.
and that's when you go with your cousin, like share
So
a
my
little.
cousin lives in Bangkok. So, and he works with the church. And so he was able to connect me with different organizations. And so I did volunteer some in Thailand. And then I met Father Kike one night in Bangkok. He is actually the priest that I ended up working with in Cambodia. And he's also the one who baptized me. So he's really cool. So
How far are they apart? Bangkok and
Cambodia and Thailand,
uh-huh.
they're right next door to each other. It's like an hour from where I live in Cambodia to Bangkok on the
Okay.
plane. Yeah.
Now, for
So
everybody who knows, right now you are in Oklahoma City, or where are
yes,
you? Okay.
I am in Oklahoma City. I go back next week. I had to come here to source some. We're doing some ceramics, and we're having trouble getting the glazes imported because of things that are going on in the world with beyond our control. So I'm
Glazes
here. What's that?
glazes are like what makes it shiny, or what are
For
glazes?
the colors,
Mhm.
and also to set up, like, I have a new CPA, just the business side of the business, that it's very hard to do when I'm in Cambodia with the time change is like 12 hours, so to get to talk to the people I need to talk to, it's just easier to do it here.
So, I was on your TikTok and I was watching one of your pinned videos, and
Uh-huh.
you were talking about being in Cambodia, and there were these big, like, huge vases that would collect water,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
is that how you became, like,
Yes. Yes.
drawn?
I'll So what started it, I came from the design industry in New York. I got into mid-century modern right after college. I also I ran like a modern object store right out of college. So I've always been interested in design, and that's what I did for 25 years. I'm not a designer, but the business of design, operations, sales, bringing product to market, all sorts of
And
things.
furniture and things like that.
Furniture, my last position, I was a US managing director for a Swiss textile company. So I ran that company for the US. And then, but I was burnt out on that. I mean, things happen. I just didn't want to. I think after COVID, and it was just like I was just burnt out, like so many people,
Mhm,
right? And like really questioning, like, what am I doing this for?
mhm.
And so I was volunteering in Battambang, Cambodia, which is where Father Kike has his mission. He's been there since the 80s. He started out working in the refugee camps from the wars and helping disabled people. So he's known as the priest of the disabled in Cambodia. So he's done many great things. So I was on an outreach one day. So where we take rice out to support a disabled grandmother, and she has her grandson there, and his parents are no longer living, and he's 9, and we're sitting on the dirt floor, and I'm like going through his coursework, and I see he's drawing all these like stick figure houses like I used to draw when I was 9, like, and it's just like, here I am like in like a hut, his home, but just on the dirt floor and like one piece of a bed and with no mattress, like just a wood slat. And I don't know, I just left that day thinking like, "Oh, how can I make money to build homes for people in Cambodia that in need?" And because like, yes, I could go back and get a corporate job and work for, yeah, and look at spreadsheets all day, and sure, I could do that. But I don't know. Again, it goes to divine providence. I mean, God put this idea, and then it just made me think how universal it is that we all just need a home and we just want to feel safe. And it's just such a universal thing. It doesn't matter where you live, what color you are, what religion, it's just your home. So it took me a few months. And at this time too, I was really, I couldn't even look at like a designer chair. I was like, oh, I can't. Like I couldn't look at design. I couldn't look at like, I was just, it was just like triggering for, I know that sounds like really dramatic, but I just,
Because you're
it's
thinking
some,
about the people who have and the people who have not.
yeah. And so it was all so loaded, and like, really, what are we doing it for? You can buy, but really like is, it was just a very, there's a lot of things going on. So, going back to the water basins again, going back to obsessions, which can be good. I was obsessed by these water basins everywhere you go, and they were beautiful, like different sizes, different styles with the paints, because each house that makes them, they make them in the house, has their own like little paint slash around them, so they know which one. And um, yeah, I was just seeing them everywhere, and they were just part of the world there. And
Mhm.
I asked my friend Lon, who I'm very dear friends with, I asked her one morning at breakfast. Well, I was volunteering, and I said, Lon, I said, where do they make them? And she said, oh, they just make them like down over in the village. I was like, okay. So we did. We spent 2 full days, and she'd never watched them be made, So it was fun to just experience that. And it just got me thinking, like, handmade product, like how special, especially I think in the next, I don't know, 10, 20 years, like how special handmade product is going to be. Because trust me, I could have gone to China and do what I'm doing and had it done in like a month and be done with it, slap a name on it and sell it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, but for me, it's just it's having something that's been made by a human being. So this got me thinking again. So watched them be made for 2 days, and then a few days after that, I went on another outreach to visit a little girl who was disabled by a landmine when she was 4, and now she's 9, and her little brother was killed from the landmine that was in the field. These are still landmines from the wars in the 70s,
Mhm.
It's really awful. But she's great. She's a great student. She's got a great personality. I mean, that's one thing about it. The Cambodians are resilient. And then I was on my way back, and it just hit me. It's just like an inspiration. I came up with the name. The name of the company is called House of Khmer. And Khmer is the people of Cambodia. It's actually the language spoken in Cambodia is Khmer. They're the Khmer people. They're one of the oldest people. I mean, they're from, I think it was like 1200 AD, I think. I'll get that wrong.
Mhm.
Someone will correct me. But anyway, it's old, an old culture, old language. And yeah, so I came up House of Khmer to sell artisan made goods made in Cambodia to the United States. Then part of the proceeds will go to finance housing, and say an older woman needs a repair on her roof or a just anything for the house. So it's all full circle. It's like we make things for the home, we sell things for the home to help build homes.
And so these are what types of goods are they? And are they for would they be sold to, home goods here in the US, or if they would be sold to individuals might want to purchase them online from your website
Right.
or
Yeah. So originally, I went through many scenarios of doing wholesale, retail, but I can't do both at the same time. So I'm focusing on the retail, which is going to be on my website. The website will be launched in September. And the first part of the collection are candles. So they're ceramic candles. And the name of the collection is called Days of Intentions, because in Cambodia, each day of the week has an intention and a color associated with it. So, for example, bravery, Sunday is bravery, and the color is red. Monday is equality. And so you'll see people wearing those colors. Those are the traditional colors. So I came up with this idea. Actually, came up with the idea at mass one day in Thailand. Like it came to me. God spoke to me. It was like, keep it simple. Candles, and it's not just going to be candles though. That's our first introduction, and we'll be introducing blankets and loose teas and rattan. We're going to be doing rattan furniture in the next year, but I'm one person and I know what it takes to do furniture and all that. So this was a good way for me to introduce my company to the market, something that
yeah.
was scalable for me to be able to do.
Yeah. And so are they going to be sort of mass produced, or how does that
No.
work?
So they're all made by the artisans in Cambodia. I've partnered with this wonderful organization. It's an artisan incubator. The name of the company is called Sacha. And they have just been just amazing partners. I mean, I can't even tell you how beautiful they have been. And I showed them the presentation in August, and they signed up like they're not even charging me for the prototypes. I
Oh
mean,
my gosh.
yeah, yeah.
It-
But they're gonna make this. So we make the mold, and it will be a mold. It'll be poured in, by hand, and then it comes out, and then it's finished, and it's baked, and then it's glazed, and it's baked, and there's, and then I have that's just the vessel for the candle wax, which the idea behind it is that you can use it forever. It's not
Mhm.
just a glass. It's just not your average candle. I mean, this is just meant to
Yeah.
be used, right?
Yeah.
But I partnered also with a Cambodian candle company named Sarti, Saarti, and they're doing my wax and all my scents, and they're beautiful. So I've
Oh,
taken these two companies together to bring in to make this beautiful first launch.
wow. That's incredible. Well, first of all, congratulations on this.
Thank you. We're working. I mean, we're still working on it, but we're launching in September. So yeah, so that's
And
exciting.
is this I saw online when I was trying to Google, how do you say Khmer? Am I
Khmer.
Khmer?
Yes,
Saw
Khmer.
Khmer Modern Home Goods. Is that something totally different and that's not
Th-
you at all?
That's not me. No, we
Okay.
are House of Khmer. Yeah.
House of Khmer. Okay.
I did want to tell you a little bit about again talking about divine providence, which I just kind of love it so much. So when I got this idea. I came up with the Days of Intentions collection. I did the deck of April of 2025. Really still struggling, like, how do I do this? Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can see it, and and so I really struggled with like, how do I do this? And finally, I was like, the only way to do this is to get on a plane and go there and rent an apartment in the city, Siem Reap, where all the artisans are, and just make it happen.
Yeah.
And so when I got there, I didn't know one person in Siem Reap because all my community was like 3 hours away. And it's just really beautiful to think that here, like just to go to a foreign country with an idea. Only,
I'm like, what?
I mean, it's just
So you did
looking
you have
back.
a place to live when you got there, or you were staying in a hotel, or
No, I had looked at a place when I was there back in January, just when I was traveling, and so I knew I had a safe place to stay, once I got there. But I just got off the plane and
and what's the language? How do you communicate?
most of the Khmer or the Cambodians, it's Khmer language. They
Yeah,
speak Khmer, but it's
they speak
hard for
English?
me to. Yeah, they speak English a lot. Like, I
Uh,
mean, my design team that's working on my logo, my website, and everything. I mean, his name is Spot, and when I first met him, I was like, I feel like you sound like you grew up in California. Like he said, he learned English off the Cartoon Network.
yeah, oh my
I was like, well, we're exporting some good stuff, I guess.
I mean, that's probably kinda smart because it is geared to children, it's kinda slow. Not slow, but it's kinda
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
mean, I should be watching Khmer cartoons so I can learn the language.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, but I also say we all speak the language of love, right? I went to
Absolutely.
Japan. I
Yes.
it, it's amazing what you can
Yes.
communicate with your eyes and your hands and your
I was gonna bring
expressions.
that up because I did go to Japan after you did,
Oh, I
which I
didn't
know
know that.
oh, I didn't tell you that I was
No.
seeing someone and his son lived over there,
Oh,
and
yes. Now I remember now. Yes.
and, I just cannot imagine you going over there by yourself. I mean, there were certain things I was like, "I could have never figured this out." Just transferring, just going from one terminal to another terminal in Tokyo. I couldn't have done that alone. I couldn't have done that alone. So,
I'm sure
um
you could. I know you. I know.
so you, but you went on vacation over Christmas, wasn't it? Wasn't it during the
It was right
holidays?
before Christmas, right before Christmas. Yes, I just had always wanted to go to Japan, and I wasn't working, and I had just a little bit of free time and a little bit of money, and I was like, I'm gonna go,
Yeah,
and I loved it. I had such a great. It was like one of the best times of my life. I mean, I didn't really like go out at night or anything like that, but it was just I would just pick a neighborhood, go there at like 9 in the morning and just walk and walk and walk and just see
yeah.
what I would stumble upon. So,
What part were you in?
oh, I can't remember the exact
Mhm.
district that I was in.
No, but I mean, where did you
Oh.
fly into?
Oh, I flew into Tokyo.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I only stayed in Tokyo. That was the thing. I was only there for 7 days, and I just wanted to experience. I didn't want to
Yeah.
travel, I just
Mhm.
wanted just to take my time and just kinda how you can do in New York, right? You just wake
Right.
up one morning and go for a
Yeah.
walk and
And not
so
long ago, I mean, in the last 12 months, didn't you spend time in Mexico? Did you spend time in
yes.
Mexico?
Yeah, so, a woman that I worked with in Cambodia, she's a doctor, and, this is before I had made the decision to go to Cambodia, and I was still really struggling with. I think what it was is I knew how challenging it was going to be. And it was just working myself up and preparing myself that I've got no choice in this matter. This is what I'm going to do. And I've got to get it together. And so she was kind enough. She has like a ranch up in like the mountains. It's so beautiful. And she's so kind. And we just stayed in this cabin for like 2 weeks. And she just helped me release a lot of that worry and tension.
Yeah.
And
You
that's
were very
mhm.
stressed also.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I was completely off the chart stressed. So, but I always laugh because in Cambodia, my 2 friends that I met, my dearest friends that I volunteer like, one's a psychiatrist and the other one, Lon, used to be a nun. So God sent me a psychiatrist and a nun. He was like, "This poor girl, let's send her some angels. Let's get her some help."
Oh, man, you're protected. You are protected. Yeah.
I'm lucky to have them.
Yeah. When you said something earlier about because we have to do it the hard way, I was thinking about I think about myself in that way. And I believe that Betty Davis's um gravestone says something like that. Like she
Oh,
did it the
really?
hard way. And as soon as I heard that or learned that, I thought, man, I relate to that. And that was like 30 years ago that I, just I was like, really relate to that. Like, why? Why? But that's the way it
It's
is a
just
lot of times.
yeah, I can't explain it. Yes, there's many things I could do so much easier, but, like, yeah,
Take the fun away.
it's just not our path, Adrian, you know? We gotta
No,
go
no.
where we're aligned.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Did you tell me I'm doing a silent retreat soon? And
mm,
did you do
mhm.
that? Did you do that?
I I have done a version of silent retreat because I went on a retreat where no one was there, so I didn't have anyone to talk to for 3 days. So
Say more. Say more.
but, um but yeah, but most of the retreats I've done, they're just, it's
Okay.
just yeah, but I do know people that have done the silent retreat. I think they're healthy. I think they're good.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope so. I hope so.
Mhm.
But I thought I was talking to you one day and you had just come from a retreat and that was around 24, but I can't remember what kind of retreat it was.
So, it's a joke in my family right now. It's like, I told them, like, "I'm retreated it out. I don't need any more retreats." I mean, but I will tell you, when I first got to Southeast Asia, Cambodia had a holiday, so I took 10 days and I went to this island in Thailand. And once you get there, it's not that expensive, right? So once you're in Southeast Asia, things are very reasonable. So I
Mhm,
know it sounds
mhm.
very like, I don't know. There was some show on American TV last year about these like a certain I don't know. It seemed it's not my version of the my retreat, but
Mhm.
um yeah, didn't I was trying to get rid of like all vices in my life, like no drinking, no digital, not that I smoke, but maybe, no smoking, like no, just get back to my core. Like, let me do this.
Mhm.
And that was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I mean,
Wow.
but I did it. I did it to like not punish but to make myself stronger, to get my
Yeah.
confidence back because I had lost so much confidence in myself. And it
Mhm.
was just like, no, I got this. I can take care of myself.
This was how long? Like, was this from when was this? And was this like for a period of time and that's still the case now or
No, no, I think it was, I was separated, of course, in 2022. I came back to Oklahoma City, where I hadn't lived since I was 16. I mean, I left when I was 16. I was like, and I'd
Mhm.
been school in Ohio, New York, and I just got back here and it just felt like everything I touched just was it was just a disaster. Relationships, just everything, just my whole life I felt had fallen apart. And in some ways it had. I mean, I felt like I had like a tower moment, like I had burnt my house down and I was just like, everything I knew in life was different and was gone. And some of those were my choices and some of them weren't. So, I mean, so it's a mixed bag of, and there's no, it's not, I'm blaming anyone or anything
Mhm.
like that. But yeah, I was just a really, I would say a dark night of the soul for at least, I would say 2 years at
Mm,
least. Yeah.
mhm.
Like, and just now really getting out of it at the end, like 2025, like fall of 2025, when I started doing TikTok actually. When I had the confidence that I'm
Yeah,
gonna do this. I'm
yeah.
gonna do this.
I
Yeah.
mean, but it was 2024 when you were traveling, but you knew like to Southeast Asia, right?
Right, the summer of 2024, and I
Mhm,
traveled and I worked there for almost 6 months, and then I traveled some more just trying to figure out what I was gonna do and how I was gonna
mhm,
do this, and also fighting with God during this time too. I
mhm,
mean, I did a 3-week retreat, just no juicing and just to really work on the business. And I felt like when I was doing this, and my friend, the Mexican woman, she was there with me,
Mhm.
and I remember telling her one day, I was like, I feel like God is preparing me for, like, I'm training for a race. Like,
Mhm.
I'm trying to get my brain strong, my spirituality strong, my body strong, like,
Mhm.
because I know how hard this is going to be. And not that I don't love it, but you know what I mean? I was fighting it with God. Like I was having moments where I was like I can't do it. It's too much. Like I just
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
then I would be like, no, but it makes you so happy thinking about doing it. And so
Mhm.
finally God and I we got our stuff worked out.
What do you think that God has been trying to teach you or taught you, through this journey?
Oh, that he is always there, and I have to let myself be open to him because he's always there. He's always there, always protecting me, always guiding me. And when I don't, when I keep myself shut off, then that's when I'm not aligned with God and his purposes. But I'm not an angel either, It's like and that's the one thing I think about being baptized. I've had friends. I've actually lost friends for being baptized, by the way, which is really
Well,
interesting.
you mean you were baptized as a baby and then baptized recently?
No, I was never baptized. My mother left when I was 4. I don't know, she just didn't. I don't know.
Okay.
But what's funny about that is, Father Kike, who did baptize me, they're so confused because my one of my family members, he's with the church, and so they just assume I was Catholic when I got there. And I'm like, "No," I'm not, but always Catholic curious. And then, I just remember, uh Father Kike and I talking about it, and he was like, he said, "It's so strange. Your mother," because he's Spanish, he's so confused. He's like, "It's so strange. Your mother didn't baptize you." I said, "I know." I said, "But you know what? If she had, I would not have been baptized today by you in Cambodia, which is probably
Mhm.
the most special thing that's ever happened to me in my
Was
life." So
there a transformation for you with that in itself, being baptized?
I feel like, one of the sisters that I know in Sem Reap, she's very sweet. She said something, my friend Lon had said that I was just baptized, and she said, "Oh, but she was always baptized in here." And so I felt like it was just the ritual of it, which I love. I do believe in rituals. I think that's why we have weddings and funerals and baptisms and things like, and not just in Western world, but in Eastern traditions too, but yeah, it made me feel like, I like the ritual of doing it, but I
Mhm.
already felt baptized.
Yeah,
Like, when I made the decision when I was in Thailand at this retreat, that I was like, "All right,
yeah.
we're gonna do this."
So you brought up being, you brought up that your mom left when you were 4, and so people are gonna be curious, and I didn't if I don't
Oh,
ask you
yes, of
about that.
course.
So, do you
Yeah,
wanna share that part of your
sure.
aspect of your
I mean, I think I carried a lot of shame about it for a long time, and I think that was part of the stuff that I was working through that I didn't even know I was working through until you get out of it and you're like, "Oh, wow." It's like, because as a child, it was just very confusing, and shame. I carried shame about not having a mom, and you
She
because
was
it's
in
like,
your life though, or was that later? 'Cause, she was
no.
in your life, I thought, when we met
Yeah, she was
sometime.
as an adult,
She
yeah,
was a
but
professional woman, like, can you
yes.
back it a little,
Yes,
let
yes,
me understand?
yes, sure. So, she is very talented. She's, was a lobbyist. I mean, very she's like in her, uh, profession, like one of the first women to do anything that she did. She started her career in like the early 70s, right before I was born. So in the trucking industry, like a woman in the trucking industry. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, she's very talented, but um and she has many people look at her in her industry as like a mentor for these younger women because she's paved the way, which is beautiful, and I admire her for that. um as a daughter, when she left, I didn't speak to her for 8 years, like no communication. And so that I still struggle with that, coming to terms with that. Like she says she left when I was 5, I say 4, so I said let's just say 4.5 because why fight? You still left.
And your father
So
raised you.
yeah, my father raised me. Exactly. And so yeah, I don't know, you're not really on TikTok, but a while ago there was this thing called it was Punch the Monkey. Do you know about this? Have you heard about
I
this?
don't think
So it was this I think it was in China. There's a group of monkeys. This one monkey was abandoned by his mom monkey, and all the other monkeys bullied him and pushed him around, and then he got a little stuffed animal monkey that became kind of
Yeah,
his friend.
that sounds
I
familiar.
When I watched that, I just was, because I felt like I was like Punch the Monkey, because my mother left me and people can smell it. Like, it's a weird thing with
Mm,
children and adults. Like when you don't have that protector, even though I have my dad, but it's a different vibe.
yeah,
It's different.
yeah.
And I didn't have that mother maternal protectiveness
Mm,
around me. And I think people can just smell it or whatever. So there was a lot
mhm,
of, and plus I moved all the time, so I was always the new person in the class, and so
mhm,
it was just coming to terms with the shame of like trying to explain to people that my mom left
mhm,
me.
mhm.
In my brain, she left me
Yeah,
because I was 4. I mean,
yeah,
that's how your
yeah,
brain, and
yeah.
that's pretty textbook,
I
but
mean, yeah, I absolutely think it's natural to feel all kinds of things, if you don't have a mother or if you don't have a dad, either way,
sure,
it's like if
both.
but your mom, that's crucial. That's
Well, it's
big. Yeah,
also things like that you learn, like just like about how to put makeup on.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like
Mhm.
the nuances of being a woman or a young woman, becoming a woman. You get so many like unsaid information just being around, and so I felt like I was always on the outside, kind of looking at what other girls did or what other older
Yeah,
ladies did, because I was trying to understand what I needed to do,
yeah.
you know?
I have a niece who's been on this podcast and talked about this, so I'm not giving away anything, but,
Sure.
her her dad was my brother who's passed away, but
Right.
while he was living, um, she had a baby brother, and her mom and baby brother were in a car accident, and he passed away, and that had happened before I met you, actually,
Okay.
and, um, but her mom suffered a, head injury, and
Mhm.
so, she really, even though her and her mom were in the same house, she was really raised by her maternal grandmother,
Mhm.
and it wasn't a traditional, there were a lot of things going on in the household, and so, because my brother and her mom eventually split up, and
Okay.
so she talked about, and, on the podcast and, elsewhere, she has talked about just what you just said, learning like just basic things like makeup and, just hygiene and etiquette and, just different.
How to be a woman, how to be a girl, how to
Yes,
be
yes,
a woman, and
yes.
and sometimes I failed at those things miserably because I didn't know that's what I would use, like I wouldn't know the cues, like the girl cues, because I was raised by my dad. So I also have like a more masculine maybe view on certain things.
Mhm,
So that was a little bit confusing for me as
mhm,
well. And
mm,
maybe that lends itself that yes, why I can just get on the plane and just go somewhere because I don't think
yeah,
anything different. But
Mhm,
so
mhm.
yeah, again a mixed bag, like everything, you know.
Do you feel like you're starting to heal around that, or how do you feel?
No, I think the mother wound is so hard. I've tried. I really have tried. And people will say you only have one mother. And then I'm like, but she only had one youngest daughter, you know. I mean, it works both ways. And I've tried, and I am to a point that I'm just a better human being I when we don't have contact. Like, because
Mhm,
it just,
mhm,
I just want to move on with my life. And love my life, and not get. When I'm around her, it just brings up a lot of
mhm.
like a lot of rage, like
Yeah,
anger,
yeah,
and like confusion, because I remember talking to her one day, and she didn't know that my dad had got remarried, and I was like, "But weren't you curious on who was taking care of your daughter?" Like,
mhm,
I mean, just as a human being, like, pick up the phone, like, "Hey, I'm Carrie's mom. I just wanted to introduce myself,"
mhm.
or
Yeah.
something. And then I think back about my dog Sailor. I
Yes.
mean, can you imagine? I wouldn't let Sailor
They're like
go out the door with anybody.
yeah.
I mean, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
just
I think
walking
that's
down the
where,
street. I get it.
so I think that's where when I hear stuff like that, that just makes me just like, I can't understand that.
Yeah,
So,
and it has to do with feeling lovable, I would
mm.
imagine.
Oh, well, that's so beautiful that you brought that up, because for so long, I did not think I was lovable. And last year, a cousin that I'm not super close with, but I love so much, I just randomly saw him when I was in town. And we just had a quick conversation. And he was like, "You know what, Carrie? You are so lovable." And I was just like, wow, like, thank you. And it was just and it got me to think, like, even though I didn't feel loved by my mother, I am lovable,
Yes,
you
you
know?
are. You are so lovable. I love you so much. I love you
Mm.
so much. So, you mentioned, that when you got baptized that you lost some friends, did you say?
Yeah, people got so I won't get into it too much, but, um, yeah, really questioning it and not understanding it, and maybe thinking, like, the Catholic Church doesn't like gay people and all this stuff, which I don't think is true. That's not my Catholic Church. I think yeah. So and also thinking, like, oh, well, now you're like a holy roller, and then I'm gonna, like, be judging people, and it's like, no. I mean, so people get ideas in their head that isn't my it's not my reality.
Mhm.
You
And then
know.
also, I know this was a Catholic baptism, you're saying,
Hmm.
right? But, I mean, I was at my baby cousin got christened a week ago, and it wasn't
Uh-huh.
Catholic. So, not everybody who gets christened or baptized is Catholic.
It's
So,
Catholic.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Catholic
Yeah.
part that they had issues with.
Maybe, I can't really speak for
Yeah.
it, but that's okay. I mean, it
Mhm.
just makes, like, that
Yeah.
saying, some people leave, it makes room for other people to come
Yes.
in.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah.
So, is there a blessing in your life? I know we've been talking about, like, a lot of things, but is there a blessing or a miracle in your life, whether it's related to this or something else, where you just said, "I had nothing to do with that. That was completely God."
I think coming up with the idea of the company,
Mhm.
everything about the company, all divine providence. I did not come up with this on my own. There is no way. I mean, I I feel that with my past life and the industry that I've been in, I am the perfect person to do this.
Uh-huh, I do too.
I have all those tools that I've done that, when people are like, "Oh, well, what about this one?" I'm like, "Well, I've already done all of that before, so I know how to do that." Now there's things I'm learning with product stuff that I don't know, but I feel that God gave me this idea and this to be the bridge between Cambodia and the United States. And that's not, I just want to expose the United States to the beauty of Cambodia. And and this is the way that God has chosen for me to do it.
Mhm.
And even when I met Father Kike the first time, I mean, we just connected so well. And he was excited that I'm American because they don't get a lot of American views. I mean, there's a lot of like travelers from Australia, European, but not a ton of Americans. And Americans spend money.
Yes.
We tip,
Yeah, yes, yes.
so gosh, God bless. If I can expose people to Cambodia on my TikTok and someone takes a trip and checks it
Mhm.
out, and that's just more resources to help the people of Cambodia. So,
Yeah. And
so that's my miracle.
what
Mhm.
do you think so you're doing for others, you're an empath and you're a giver and you're doing this for the people of Cambodia. And so with this whole journey, what do you think that God wants you to do for you throughout this whole thing?
That's a really good question. What does God want me to do for me? Um, he wants me to love myself. He does. And that's also an interesting thing too. You hear this saying like, "Oh, love yourself." I've heard that my whole life. "Oh, you have to love yourself." Well, if you've never been taught how to love yourself, it's a very hard thing to do. So
Mhm.
I think that God is showing me the confidence and to
Mhm.
love to truly love my my shadow self, my bright self, my
Mhm.
all the different aspects of who I am. It doesn't matter. I'm still God's child, and he loves me, and he wants me to love me because he loves me.
Yes. That's so true. That is so true. That's been my lifelong thing to love myself. Like I was struggling with that, in New York. I was struggling
Okay.
with the whole idea of self-esteem and
Mhm.
self-love, and it's been like a whole journey, and that's what my spirituality has helped me to get to. And
Mhm.
someone once gave me a CD at one of my Course in Miracles groups, and the CD was just on repeat of I am loving, I am loved, I am lovable,
Mhm.
just over and over again. It was like a meditation,
Right.
and it really, it was really helpful. It was really a part of my journey, but it's yeah, we can't not be lovable because God created us.
Right. And exactly. And when I look at it like just very straightforward like that, it's like, okay, there's no question, you know.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that there was weren't some nights on your hands and knees like, God, please have mercy on me. Please. Oh my gosh. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's like, life is, it's so not linear, right? Life is
Mhm.
so circular. It's just, I think about like, oh, if you do this and you do this every day, da, 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 all this, it's just like, for me, that's not how my life works. My
Mm,
life is just a very fluid
yeah.
experience, which I
Yeah.
think most people's lives are. I think.
Yeah, but I mean, I love how I don't think all of us, and I don't even like I'm a free spirit, but not to the extent that you are. I think that, just that to have that nature where you're just like, the wind is blowing me over here. This is where I'm going. Just and it's not just the wind, that's an
Yeah,
oversimplification, but
yeah. No, I
it's a
know.
pull. I'm being
Yeah.
pulled over here and I'm gonna respond to this pull. And
Yeah. Well, I knew when I was in New York that I did not want to turn 50 living in New York. I knew it. Like, I just knew there. So this had been going on probably since 2017, 2018. This like sort of aching in my soul of like, oh, what am I doing? There's something out there that I need to be doing. I don't know what it is. And so it just didn't start when, I got separated or moved. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
been brewing. It's been brewing this whole time.
Yeah.
And that's why I think God set me up for
Mhm.
this a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. How many years were you married?
At 10.
10.
Yeah. And he's a great person.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, there's only great things to say,
Mhm. Well,
So.
I love that you did this, and you're gonna have to do a part 2 with me as
Ah.
the journey goes on.
Well, I will say we are launching the product. We're going to Maison Objict, which is a French show in September. It's a tabletop
Oh,
show. So the partner Sacha that I've been working with will have a booth there, and so he asked if he could show my candles there, and I was like, yes.
oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah, so we'll be showing there. So I'll literally be debuting the product in Paris in September. The website will be up and running in September. We're doing pre-sales, and then we'll start shipping out the product in October. And we will have our website, houseofkhmer.com, soon. But
Yeah,
follow
and
me on TikTok.
I was just about to say that. They can follow you on TikTok in the meantime. And, I didn't see some small objects on your TikTok?
I haven't put anything up
Mm,
yet
okay,
about the product. I'm waiting for the big debut,
okay.
Adrian.
Do you know the date in September by chance? Just
Well,
curious.
September 10th is when the show is,
Okay,
but my website will be up by September 1st.
okay.
And when I get back to Sem Reap, June, we're doing all the marketing. There's a whole, um, yeah, we're doing the videographer and getting everything ready to do a big release.
This is very exciting.
Well,
And
thank you.
I think this is gonna be big, and I also think that there's more, how you
Yeah,
like there's more that you just don't even see yet that is going
right.
to unfold. Yeah.
Yes, that's my plan. Like again, it's like it's not like I'm just doing this one little thing. I see it as and I love furniture. And I
Mhm.
love beautiful things for people and exposing people and yeah. So there's so and there and I learn every day. So yeah.
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 Wow.
So I just wanted to say thank you so much for
Thank you.
thinking of me. And I can't believe that I'm like in your top 5. I just have goosebumps. I
I
can't.
I did not know that you didn't know that because that's been true for years and years and years. Years
I
and years.
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Not true. It's not true.
Well, I am so like honored and flattered because I just think of you. I was thinking of you earlier today, like just like a sister, but
Mm.
kind of sister mother all kind of combined, like just because I just you have always loved me and yeah,
Yes, I have.
I have loved you. So
Oh, thank you so much, Carie.
all right, thanks, Adrian.